Look at this image of Homelander from the recent episode of The Boys. What are we even doing anymore, man? Alright, rock and rollers. This is gonna be kind of a mini rant slash I need to talk about it. With regards to The Boys Season 5, particularly the last two episodes. Episode 5 just came out today, at the time of this recording this video. This is Wednesday. And like I said, what are we doing? What are we doing anymore? We have had the past two episodes are filler episodes. Which, okay, they did say, hey, there is at least one filler episode. That's what, like, the reviews said when they first came out for the season. There's one filler episode, okay, and people are like, okay, I thought we kind of assumed it was the last episode, episode 4, when they were in that, asylum, school, dungeon thing with, like, the guy who was making them hate each other and yell at each other. I thought that was the filler episode, but apparently not, because episode 5 came out today, and this was another filler episode. Like, nothing happened, which... Okay, before I tear this episode apart, if this was like a normal TV show with like, whether it was like, 16 episodes or more, or it was like season 2 of a show, like that would be okay. It'd be a great episode. But for an episode in a series that's ending, the series finale, the final season, and there's 6, 7, and there's 3 episodes left. 3 episodes left, and the last 2 of this season have been completely useless. Like, I don't know what to say, honestly. Okay, I have some notes I took for this, and I'll probably write more as this goes on, but... Alright, so this episode was titled One Shot, so essentially it's mainly about Firecracker. I think I had to say, if I had to pick a main character from this episode, it's Firecracker. So it's okay, let's just go here. So this is gonna be out of order, but it's Firecracker, Noir, Terror the dog, Sister Sage, and Soldier Boy. So we get each of their perspectives, kind of like, what they were doing at the time at this episode as the others were doing, that type of thing. So let's just, I guess, go down the list. So Firecracker, hers was somewhat interesting. This would be full spoilers, by the way. It was interesting. So basically the episode starts like, we need to preach Homelander's God, blah, blah, blah. And then she gets like contacted by like her former pastor in her church, and, stuff happens, and he tries to get her to come back. That stuff was good. I was like, okay, we're actually going somewhere. Granted, it didn't end well, because at the end of the episode, I'm jumping forward a bit, but who cares? So at the end of the episode, Soldier Boy tells Homelander, like, hey, I'm sleeping with Firecracker, and Homelander goes to her at the end of the episode and like crushes her skull, but like grabs her head and like hits it against like a eagle statue. So here's the eagle statue, just kind of like that, and Firecracker's done. So okay, I mean, to be fair with this episode, like, you could tell they were kind of, well, you can say this about a lot of characters of the show. There's really no direction. Like, they weren't really doing anything with her. So killing her is just like, okay, just another loose end. So that was hers. My screen keeps going black. That's annoying. So the next one, I think it was Noir. I think he was the next like one in line. And Noir's is okay. So he does like not ballet, but like theater, like in his off time, in his spare time when he's not working, quote unquote. And it's like, okay, he wants to be a star, he wants to do his own thing. All right, so and I thought the Deep was gonna get a one shot, but Noir's and the Deeps, they kind of merge and go hand in hand. So Noir is still pissed off that the Deep got Stan Eggert, and Homelander says, like he's like patting Deep on the head, good job, and completely just not knowing the fact that Noir is the one that got him. So Noir's pissed off about that, and he goes to theater. The Deep finds out about it and then kills the dude who's like basically giving Noir the praise he wants, and just like puts an eel up his butt. And it's like, okay, I mean, it's kind of funny. It was funnier earlier in the show, like seasons 1 and 2, but now the gags kind of run out. It's like, okay, like, ooh, butt stuff. Okay, whatever. That's Noir's. And then I guess he confronts the Deep, like, you did this, and yeah, they just argue. I don't care anymore. I'm leaving so much out, but I just don't care. And then it goes to Terror the dog, which Why? Why? I don't understand. So Tara's is, it's Butch's dog, obviously, and that's where we get this weird Homelander, picture that I showed earlier, which, again, what are we doing? Like, I know, like, oh, it's memes, it's Homelander, with the boys is edgy, but, like, this is straight up cringe. I can't play the video, and I couldn't find a clip of it, well, a high quality clip, but basically, like, Homelander's, like, showing, that angle, saying, like, oh, do you want to, I don't want to say it, miss this video, but, like, do you want to F me? Like, oh, you want me? You want it up, up that hole? And then the dog starts humping, like, a Homelander, like, doll, and it's all torn up, and then Annie and, Kimiko, or the female, comes in, and they're like, oh my god, Annie's like, I gotta wash this, like, it's so bad, and Kimiko's like, doing her annoying voice again, like, oh, like, Frenchie doesn't like my steaks, is it like, like a cum donut, and it's like, what? And then that wasn't the weird part, and then, like, the dog goes to each member of the team, and one was, like, I don't know why did they do this, because, like, there's a scene with MM and Butcher, which is actually a pretty good scene. Like, it makes sense. They're talking, they're having, like, a man-to-man discussion, but it's through the perspective of the dog. So your dog's looking here, and it's like, you could have done that without the dog. Why did the dog have to be there? You could have done this with just the two and had an actual episode, not a filler episode, but whatever. I'm asking too much for the writers, apparently. And then the dog goes to Frenchie. He's trying to bake a pie and cook and all that, and he throws chocolate in the trash, and the dog eats the chocolate and then throws up, and they have to save the dog because he's old, so he doesn't like chocolate, and it's like, again, why? And then finally, this is the part that gets me. So Huey and Butcher, like, save Tara, so to speak. So he's eating the chocolate, they give him something, I forgot what it was, and then he throws up the chocolate, it's all good. And Huey and Butcher, in the meantime this is happening, and before, was arguing, like, what they've been arguing about all season. Like, are you really going to kill, Annie and Kimiko, and yourself, blah, blah. And then, at the end, maybe because he saved this dog, Butcher's just like, you know what? I'll let you, Starlight and Kimiko live. And it's like, just like that. You just forgave him. You just go to his side all of a sudden. Just like, huh, like... Which, okay, maybe it's because he saved the dog. Okay, that's a good reason. But the way it's handled the show is just like, oh, Butcher's like 1 second, it's just like, I'm going to kill all of you. And then the next, he's like, I'll save you. And it's like, what? He just switched. What is going on? So next up is Sister Sage, which hers, like, she tries to convince Ashley to, like, join her to take down Homelander, and Sister Sage's big plan is, like, they want to grab the virus, bring all the soups in, the soup kills the virus, and the soups kill the humans, and the humans are fighting soups, and all this anarchy is happening, and she wants to survive in her, like, bunker, I think it was in Colorado, she said, and she just wants to read the rest of her life, so she couldn't be bothered. She wants peace and quiet to read her books while everyone dies. And okay, I guess. Alright. And then last up, I want to talk about, which it's Soldier Boy, which I was talking about Soldier Boy more in this video. I'll save it for another video. I have a whole video coming out on him. I'll split it up. But him in this episode, him and Homelander go to LA, and that's where we have this, the supernatural reunion with Jared Padalecki. I hope I pronounced that name right. But the supernatural reunion with Jensen and all that. And the scene itself is like, it's a funny scene, I guess. Like, Seth Rogen is in there. So basically, Jared plays, like, the former, what's his name, Mr. Marathon, what's his name? Like, the former speedster who was on the 7 before A-Train was. So Homelander replaced him with A-Train. That's what happened. That's the backstory. So he's like a speedster. So Soldier Boy and Homelander, basically, okay, I'll go back a little bit. Soldier Boy, let me go back. So Homelander has been interrogating Stan Edgar, trying to find out where the V1 is. He's not budging. Soldier Boy says, hey, let me take a crack at him. And they go, and basically Soldier Boy finds out where, like, Edgar's granddaughter is and threatens her, and Edgar says, oh, like, hey, like, I know a guy who, knows where the V1 is, so that's Jared. So Homelander and Soldier Boy, they go to LA, and Jared's like, I guess, what he in the show, he's now like a don't know, we're like a celebrity in Hollywood. Like there's a, I don't want to say a poker table, but it's Kamal Nanjiani, did you say his name? And Seth Rogen. Those are the only two I recognize. I didn't recognize the other ones. But they're like, the stereotype, oh, celebrity cameos. Ho, 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 we're so funny. Ho, ho. It's just so annoying. Spoiler alert, they all die at the end because Soulja Boy and, like, the Mr. Method and Jared are, like, trying to fight each other, and he runs through all of them, which is, I was so happy. I'm like, kill these people. So basically, yeah, so Soulja Boy and Homelander, they go there because he knows where the V1, because Jared knows where the V1 is. That's essentially that. And, we get like the supernatural reunion where everyone was waiting for, and who's the other guy? Is it, Misha? Misha? I think that's his name. Part of the supernatural reunion, he was good. He plays like a chemical soup that's like, gas and everything. And they knock Homelander out at one point, which I'm jumping around, but I don't care no more. Basically, they go here. They go to Jared, hey, where's the V1? He goes, oh, I don't have it. Bomb site, another soup has it. And then stuff happens, and they, shit goes south, and they knock Homelander out with the gas, and Soulja Boy does this weird thing where he's like, yeah, Jared calls Homelander like an asexual freak, and Soulja Boy goes, yeah, he's an asexual freak, but like he's my asexual freak, that sort of thing, and it's okay. Just, whatever. So basically they say, yeah, you kill Homelander, and Soulja Boy saves him, and he goes off trying to fight, Jared's speedster, and they run through the house, they kill over celebrities, which is funny. And at the end of it, Jensen, Soulja Boy, he throws baby oil on the floor, and the speedster runs, he slips, hits the wall, and he breaks his ankle, so where is he, sort of thing. And the scene is okay, but the one thing I kept thinking about was, okay, after all this, they go to LA, different perspectives, all of this. At the end of the episode, nothing has advanced. Nothing. Nothing has changed from the last episode or the episode before that. The last episode, in the little school, thing with the fire, with the mind control, making people angry. They find out, oh, bomb site probably has the V1. Okay, they said that last episode. This episode, what's the big, revelation at the end? Bomb site has it. So this whole episode was pointless, which, on one hand, I know Eric Kripke wanted a supernatural, reunion, which he got it. Okay, I mean, good for him. I mean, I would do the same thing if I was him. Get, the crew back together for a cameo. I would do the same thing, but you could have did it better. The last 2 episodes, nothing happened. And this is, like I said, this is the final season. We have 3 episodes left. And the last 2, nothing has happened. Not a damn thing. No character revelations. Just, ho, we're so edgy with our memes and humor. I'm just... I'm still gonna watch, this, like I said, 3 left, I gotta see how it ends, and, oh my god, that's all I got for today. Just, no ending, no, please subscribe, although just, what has happened to the show, but more importantly, what has happened to Hollywood?